So I think it all kind of comes down to what exactly is your priority. I started kind of making all the changes around myself and my schedule and my environment accordingly. Also, a very simple hack. I don't book buffet or breakfast. From the hotel, because once you book it, then you are tempted to kind of eat it. So if you are in good physical state, right, your mind also is in a good state, so you can take better decisions, you can handle pressure better, and you can think more clearly.
Our guest today on the Settle or Be Better podcast is the founder of Project Hero, Mr. Satya Vyas, who's going to be talking to us about prioritizing health and well being as business owners and a lot more. So, welcome, Mr. Satya, and over to you. Why don't you begin by telling us a little bit about your personal health and well being story and your current work?
Sure, thanks Sakshi, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here. As you said, that I'm the founder and CEO of Project Hero. Project Hero essentially is a members-only club for the construction industry, where we aim to help contractors become successful business owners. So that's a little bit about what we do right now. Now going a little back about my personal journey with health and fitness. Luckily, I've been an athlete or a sports person for a better part of my life. Even when I was a kid, I was playing cricket. First in an informal way, and then I started playing cricket for Ghaziabad under 14, and then I started representing the city when we moved cities to under 16 competitions and under 19 competitions. Played competitive cricket. So fitness was always a part of my lifestyle. Spent a lot of time in the evenings outside, outdoors. Uh, so that was that. And when I went to college in 2004, there I represented my college IIT Roorkee for the inter-IIT sports team as well, and I've won a couple of gold medals there for the institution as well. So always in and around sports and fitness. After my graduation, obviously I could not play any competitive cricket. So then I started working out. I picked up gym and working out in the gym as a recreational hobby. And since then, I've been kind of working out almost every day within the gym. But as my career kind of progressed, because of my schedule and my busy lifestyle while I was building my second business, that was from 2016 onwards. I kind of put on a lot of weight. I went from 74, 75 odd kgs to 94, 95 kgs in a matter of 4 to 5 years. And obviously all my vitals and the way I used to look, the way I used to feel about myself, and including all my vitals, like I said, went out of whack. I started feeling really, really bad about myself. I was always very irritable and everything. From 2022 mid onwards, I kind of took a very hard stance that it's time for me to kind of get back into shape, because I went for a doctor consultation, and that's when the doctor told me that if I don't reduce my cholesterol, it's going to be like very difficult. Considering my high pressure job. So, towards the end of 2022, I just took a very hard stance about, making health as a priority again. And since then, I've kind of dropped 22 kgs to be precise in a matter of 12 odd months now. So that has been kind of my journey since my childhood till now.
That's amazing to know, and it's really interesting to see your career graph, and along with that, how it has affected your own personal life, your health, because that's what we forget a lot of times, right? I mean, a lot of business owners listening to this would get a lot of insights, definitely, because I think everyone can relate to this whenever they're working on a startup or a new business or a work that's really exciting that they're passionate about. They would end up giving all the hours of the day into it, and it often becomes very stressful, and they might not even realize how stressful it is, but we end up giving up working out or taking a little rest in the process, right? So how was that for you, like when you were working on your startup and you were having your really busy hours? How did that affect you being active in life, and how did it change when you actually started being mindful about it? Being active, being working out, being getting your nutrition on track. How did that change for you in the way that you showed up for work? Like, what was the difference, like, energy levels, or anything else that you sort of noticed?
Sure. So, the difference was very, very, stark. So, when I was doing my first startup, which was up until 2016, I was very, very active. I was almost always working out for 1.5 hours every day, and I was very mindful about what I was eating. It was, after, we sold our first startup and we started up again in 2016. That was a time when, actually a lot of things started changing. So from 2016 to 2021, 2022, that was the time when my health kind of took a lot of toll because my second startup was growing very very rapidly, and the first thing that kind of took a backseat was our health, my health, so to say. And I was also traveling very extensively. It was a very high pressure startup as well. So I stopped going to the gym as frequently as I was going before, spending almost all the time in the office. So that was one of the things that kind of led to my bad health. And also, while that was happening, again, when I was not working out, my diet was also completely out of whack. So I was eating almost anything that I could lay my hands on, and that kind of compounded, the rise of cholesterol and all the other bad things that could have happened. So that was the context. But with that, what happened was that my at that time I thought that I was doing really fine because that additional 1.5 hours that I was kind of putting in the office instead of working out on my personal health. I thought that it was prudent and the need of the business, but now when I look back, my mood was very irritable, and actually it would have been much much more wise for me to take that 1 hour, 1.5 hour break every day, switch the context, get myself moving, get a fresh perspective, and then go back to the office with a fresh mind. So that was one of the big things that it kind of stood out for me when I now look back. So the difference was very very evident, and now since so now right now we're doing the third startup. So I was very very clear that no matter what happens this time around, I'm not going to kind of get into the same rut again. So even this year also, I've kind of traveled extensively. Sometimes to the tune of 14, 15 days every month. But I was very, very conscious that this time around I'm going to make sure that at least 5 days a week, I'm working out, and even on the days when I'm not going to the gym, I'm still very active. And as a result of that, my perspective is much better now. All my vitals are completely in check, and as a result of that, I can think more clearly. I can, I have right now a better, thought process and a better framework, so to say, to handle stress and pressure, which was clearly missing, in my last stint.
Right. Of course, that makes so much sense because what people don't realize is it's not just like to lose weight or to look a certain way, or even if you're just, giving that 1 hour to yourself, it means a lot because what you do in that 1 hour is really how you deal with setbacks and problems in your whole life, the whole 23
Right.
hours of your day, because you don't realize it, but that's why you build a resilience, that's why you build a strength. So that's really
Right.
good to know and to see from your journey. And when you
Right.
started back, when you took the decision that you would become really serious about it again and you'll start taking those measures, what was it exactly? Like, what was your plan for yourself? Because what happens a lot of times that even today, if people start, they might take just two big steps, like they've not worked out in years and they would just be like, every day I'm going to work out for 1.5 hours. I'm going to go for a morning jog, and in the evening, I'm going to go to strength training. And that happens, but only for a few weeks. And again, they're back to where they were. So, what was your approach like? Did you ease into it, or were you just like super strict with your routine? How was it like for you?
So yeah, I'm generally very very strict on myself and my routine, and I'm very particular with my routine whenever I get into it, and I'm fairly disciplined, and I think that kind of comes from the sports background that I kind of come from because. in our formative years and in our early years, when we used to attend professional camps and everything, you might be in a bad mood, you might be injured, you might be doing whatever, but you have to show up. So that factor of showing up, no matter what happens, be it raining or be it whatever your personal mood, no one cares. You still have to show up. So that kind of got instilled into me, particularly when I was in a very early formative years of my life. That kind of really helped. But when I decided, I was very very strict on myself. I knew I had to make kind of really dramatic changes. So I changed my diet. I made sure that my gym membership kind of got used to the maximum. So that was that, and it's a very interesting fact that there were two instances which kind of made me realize that now I have to kind of take dramatic steps. One was that in our office, our office is on the third floor, and one day I had to kind of take stairs to go from the ground floor to the third floor, and I started, panting very heavily. And three floor climbing a flight of stairs is not a very big deal. And that was when I realized it was something is not right, and that was something that was never used to happen to me. I can, climb stairs very easily and all that. So that was one instance. And then the second instance was when I was working out casually one of the days. Uh, and then one of the guys started explaining me that you don't need to do this exercise like this, and you have to do it like that. And I was like, dude, mother people, I think don't even think of me as someone who used to work out. So that kind of hit my ego badly. So I thought that maybe I need to kind of transform my body again. So those were the two things that kind of led me to change, apart from the consultation from the doctor who said that it was high time to kind of get into shape again.
So those are some really realistic examples. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people listening to this can, relate. And in fact, people even as young as in their 20s, I don't even think they remember the last time they climbed a flight of stairs and how it made them feel. Because you would actually get
Yeah.
restless. A lot of people, especially if they are the ones who are smoking or who drink very often, even if they work out, they will still find themselves having that shortness of breath after a flight of stairs, right? So that is so true. A lot of people can relate with that, I'm sure.
Right, right. No, no. So it was very, very evident to me, and I felt really bad about myself. And especially when you have a sports background and you are in a situation where you are, panting after climbing a flight of stairs, is something that you can't be proud of.
No,
So
that
yeah,
should
so that
definitely be a
was
wake up call. I mean, that should
yeah,
definitely be something that we should be able to do very easily on a regular basis, right? That we don't do. We become very
yeah,
lazy with little things like that. But that's true.
yeah,
Thank you for sharing that with us. And, you mentioned that you were also traveling quite often, and I'm sure you do now as well, and you plan to do in the future
yeah.
as well. What are some of your things that you learned along the way to manage your workouts and your nutrition around your travel schedule? Because it can become very monotonous. I mean, it can be very spontaneous. You can get just random travel plans. You have to go somewhere. You might not even be planned for it. So, how do you sort of manage that? And how is it that what's there in your mind that helps you to do that for the future travel plans as well? That you would continue to
Yeah.
be consistent with your workouts and your nutrition.
Sure. So actually, it all kind of comes down to what exactly is your priority. So once I had decided that look, transforming my body and getting back into good health and shape is my top most priority. So I started kind of making all the changes around myself and my schedule and my environment accordingly. So a few things that really worked for me was are very very simple hacks. Like so, I started staying in a hotel so when I was booking a hotel, and when I book a hotel, the first thing that I look at is what is the proximity from the nearest gym. Does the hotel have a gym in the premise, or do I need to kind of go to a gym outside? And if I have to travel outside to the gym, what is the proximity? Is it like within let's say 2 3 kilometers, and I can just walk or something? So that is one of the things I keep in mind. I also try to make sure that the hotel also serves, basic healthy foods. If they don't serve healthy food, then I make sure I already do my pre-screening from Swiggy and Zomato about the health food restaurants that could deliver food. Also, a very simple hack. I don't book buffet or breakfast. From the hotel, because once you book it, then you are tempted to kind of eat it. So that's again a very simple hack. Also, before I used to travel early morning flights. So I used to take early morning flights, and invariably, what used to happen was that my entire day was very lethargic, and invariably the first thing again, like I used to miss, was the evening workout. So what nowadays I've started doing is that I've started taking the late night flights. So I finish my entire work, then I finish my gym, and then towards the night I kind of take the flight out, then go to the next city, and then I sleep there, and then maybe start my day a little later. So these are small hacks. Sometimes I also carry my supplements, whatever I'm taking in Ziplocs. That's also something that has really helped me. If it is a day travel or if it is a 2 day travel, then I also try to keep my meals handy with me. So I travel with, let's say, my chicken or my egg whites, or whatever I need to eat at least for a day. So then what happens is that if it's a 2 day travel, I'm not cheating, or I'm not like exposing myself to both the days. I'm only kind of working around one extra day. So that's how I'm able to kind of control the environment.
That's amazing. These are some really easy tips to remember or to keep in your mind, because it doesn't have to be that complicated. And what usually happens is, even someone who's very dedicated and very disciplined in their regular life, the moment there is some sort of a travel plan that comes in, it's always that they end up giving up on their workout or on their nutrition for those many days, no matter how frequently that might happen. And because it just seems very impossible to manage in another city, another place. But there are just so many options today that if you would just plan a little bit around that and put in some thought, some be a little bit mindful about it, we can definitely make it a lot easier for ourselves. So thank you for those easy tips. And lastly, what would be your message for business owners? What would be some compelling reasons you would like to show them that they should definitely work on their health and well-being just as much as working on the business is important for them? Because we see us, I mean, I'm sure you also have a lot of your friends who are founders and who are running their businesses, who are really passionate about it. A lot of them uh, are always like, this year I'm gonna just I'm taking a break from all of this. I'm gonna work on my business, just this one year. It's very important, and once I do this is when I'll start doing it. Once I achieve this financial target is when I'll start working out, and I'll pay a little bit more attention. I'll take a little time for myself. What would you like to say to them, that why is it important, especially as business owners, as bosses, to work on yourself, on your health and well-being just as much as your own business?
Sure, I think it is, one of the most important things, for a business owner or a founder to do. There are multiple reasons, but one of the big reason that I feel is, just, when you take some time off, and, start working on yourself. It could be through walking, through a gym workout, or through Tai Chi, or, swimming, or any other physical, activity. It just helps you, clear your mind. It gives you a fresh perspective. You are able to take a step back and then maybe look at the problems in a very, very fresh manner. Second, also, if you are in, good physical state, right, your mind also is in a good state. So you can take better decisions, you can handle pressure better, and you can think more clearly about a lot of things. So, I feel that it is an extremely important, thing for a founder or a business owner to do, to focus on their own health and well-being. Obviously, you can't run a big organization if you are not in good health yourself. So I personally feel that this is something that is of big importance. And considering that I've been on both sides, I've kind of run a company when I was myself not in a very good shape or a good state of mind, versus now when I'm kind of actively following a fitness regime, and I feel that I'm in a very, very different state of mind, and I handle the pressure, and my decision making has improved dramatically versus when I was working in my previous startup. So I feel that's important. Also, you would see that the moment a founder gets funded, or they kind of raise some round of funding, they have the pressure to grow, grow the team, grow the company, and the investors are also looking for performance immediately. The first thing that they would compromise is on their personal well-being and personal health. So my suggestion to all those founders would be to think of this as a long-term game. You will not gain anything by compromising your personal health and well-being. So it's always better to kind of invest time and energy and money also on your personal health and wellness.
True, and I just recently read this somewhere that if you don't give choose rest and recovery days for your body will choose it for you. So if you keep
Yeah,
ignoring it and keep ignoring that decision for months, someday just randomly, probably on one of your big meeting days or one of your big days at work, it's gonna your
yeah,
body's gonna be so down, with some other disease or with just
yeah,
a stress, so much that can happen that you will regret at that point not working on it earlier. And also the
yeah,
way you show up to work or you show up to meetings, it matters so much. Like your confidence in itself is boosted so much. Like the way you take yourself seriously and the people around you take you seriously, it's just crazy when you are at
yeah,
that level of fitness, and you're that confident in your walk and the way you
yeah.
carry yourself. That also matters majorly when you are
Big
presenting
time.
and you're talking, and when you're showing up for your business. So I'm sure, and
Yeah.
also your employees are looking up to you. So it's
Also,
a
your energy levels, so if let's say you are
right.
running a big company, right, one of the core requirement of running a big company or a fast-paced, organization or a startup is that you need to have that right amount of energy to kind of drive you from, let's say, early morning till late nights, because, no matter what you do, there is, always a lot of work on your plate. So if your body is not kind of, well rested or well, equipped to produce that kind of, internal state, you will always be, lethargic. You will always be running behind schedule and all those things. And your team always watches you, and once you are not leading by example, then obviously what happens is that everyone else also starts falling behind, and then the overall organization gets into that rut. So I can't stress more in terms of founders working out or business owners working out. It could be anything. It could be, let's say, meditation also for that matter. But yeah, some form of physical activity or consciousness about diet has to be a part of your daily lifestyle and priority.
Absolutely, that makes so much sense. Thank you so much. That brings us to the end of the episode today. As we conclude, do you have any last messages or thoughts to leave us with?
Sure, Sakshi, like I said, right, make health and fitness a priority. That's my message to everyone who's listening. If you don't do that, like you said, there will be a time when your body might be forcing you to make it a priority. Sometimes it might be just too late. So before it kind of goes out of hand and you can't do anything about it, I would urge everyone to take a proactive step and make health and fitness a priority. And it is an investment, and you will see that it will start, reaping. You will start reaping benefits very, very quickly. So that would be my parting thoughts.
Absolutely. That's a lovely message. Thank you so much for sharing that and all your insights here today. It means so much coming from a person who has actually led both the sides of the story and who has seen the differences himself. And it's just these little things that can make the difference for us. So thank you once again for all of these tips and insights today. I'm sure it was really insightful, especially for the business owners listening to this. So this would make a lot of difference in their routine, I'm sure. Thank you once again for being here today. That's it for today's episode. I'm Sakshi Pawar, and I'll be your
Thanks,
host for
actually.
Settle or Be Better podcast. Stay tuned while we bring more inspiring stories. You know the drill. Subscribe to the Settle or Be Better podcast. Like, share, and comment on our videos. And oh, hit the bell icon because you don't want to miss the mind boggling health discussions we're about to bring for you. Why settle when you can be better?